we were cleaning out the garage, and I found this hot pink piece of paper. I knew immediately what it was. It was the Do Not Resuscitate order that we had for my daughter, Sophia. We got it around 7 years old when she was in the hospital. Just a ton of memories came flooding back in, and I thought maybe I should get rid of it. But I don't know. We used to carry it around everywhere, just in case. When she was having a surgery, she was in the hospital for a little bit around 7 years old when she was having some issues. And they had done exploratory procedures to try to figure it out. And she was being put under for another procedure. She stopped breathing and almost died. The doctor tried to trach her. He couldn't get through. And for whatever reason, they aren't sure, but she started to breathe again on her own. I'm not sure how long she wasn't breathing, but I think it was at least a couple of minutes. Anyway, I remember after that just being really upset to be waiting for her surgery to be done and having the anesthesiologist come in the room down and tell us what happened. I was in shock. Early on, after I had Sophia, I remember in the NICU thinking, what's going to happen to her? I always had an intuitive feeling that one day I would have to say goodbye. I didn't know when, but then when that happened at 7 years old, I remember just feeling really scared. And she had an anesthesiologist that would change his schedule just to be with her. She had a complicated airway. And this time he wasn't there when this happened. His child passed away in the hospital for reasons I won't share, but he took a break from working in the children's hospital. And I remember emailing him to let him know what happened. He immediately came in to the children's hospital and researched what could have possibly went wrong. He came and sat with us and talked to us about a DNR. I'm sure he had to do the same for his child, and explained everything that was involved. You kind of make decisions on how far you want the doctors to take it. If there's an emergency situation, how long to do CPR, if you want a ventilator, if you want intubation, those types of things, if something happens. So I remember it was just a hard time deciding that we should do that, because I never wanted to be in an emergency situation, make the wrong decision for my daughter. I didn't want her to go through something and then have excessive force used to bring her back, only to have to go through more. I knew if it was an emergency moment, I might not make the best decision for my daughter. I would think about wanting her here forever with me. And so we would carry this around with us everywhere we went, every surgery. We would let them know that it was a difficult thing to do. But I remember holding Sophia in the NICU, and one of the promises I made to her was to always do what was best for her, to always listen to her body and what it was telling me. And that was a part of it, is making decisions that would be incredibly hard for me, but doing it for her. And near the end of her life, that was one of the things and the promises that I had to keep, which ended up being the hardest promise. But she was in hospice one time before her last time in hospice. She wasn't doing well, had some more health issues, and just the surgery options were horrific. I didn't want her to go through that. So we got her into hospice thinking we didn't know how her health would do or how long, but then she got better and she graduated from hospice and did well. And I remember I never told anyone why she was in hospice. I just said she was having lots of complications and we just needed the help with the coordinated care through Kids Path, which is the hospice program. I don't know why I kept it from anyone. I guess I wasn't ready to accept that. I realized that was the beginning of things changing and her health declining. I knew eventually I would have to make the horrible decision to stop the medical treatment. But she got better on her own. That was beautiful and wonderful. And then the second time she went into hospice, obviously we knew that she wouldn't graduate that time. I really did think she had a year left. And I think, again, my brain needed something like that to be able to survive that time. But I just always wanted to make the best decision for her. And if you are ever a parent that has to sign a DNR slip for their child, I'm just sending you a lot of love. It's not an easy thing to do because as a parent, we want our kids with us forever. But to do things in a calm state before there's an emergency and to set those things up, if you know that your child has a life-limiting diagnosis, I always recommend planning ahead and making those really difficult decisions before you are in the devastation of it all. And the same goes for end of life. If you know that is coming, finding the funeral home, making the arrangements and all the decisions regarding that, even though it'll be the hardest thing you do at that time, it is very helpful to have those plans in place. Anyway, I've just been thinking about my daughter a lot because the anniversary of her death is coming. So it's not an easy thing. No matter how much time passes, people think get better. When you lose a child, there's always going to be a struggle that returns that you kind of have to fight your way out of, work your way out of, no matter how long it's been. It's just, there's a sadness in there that has to sometimes visit you. You have to let it, and then you have to fight to get out of it, to not get stuck there. But anyway, I just thought it would be helpful to share that for other parents going through it. So just to kind of get it off my chest. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but it is a reminder of all that she went through.